Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode from the Hermitcraft server. In today's episode, we're going to be working a little bit more on this path and adding some new things. What I think would be really cool would be to have kind of like the ruins of a house kind of out here. So that's basically what we're going to be working on today, and I've got some resources and stuff like that with me so that we can accomplish that. Now, the first thing we're going to have to pick out is where we're going to put this thing, and I'm thinking like right over in here would be pretty good. Ooh, I need to do some terraforming over here. I just realized that there's this like random, yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, so maybe we won't put it there. Maybe we'll put it like over here instead. I think this will work relatively well. Or I suppose I could also get some grass and fill this in real quick. Let me deal with this. I'll be back with you in a sec. Alright guys, I am back. I've got that all filled in, so now we don't have a random dirt bridge just kind of sticking up over the thing. I wish I'd known that was there before. I would have covered that up. I'm sure I knew about it and then just completely forgot about its existence. But I'm thinking we'll put the house kind of over right in about here or so. And it is starting to get dark, so yeah. Let's grab a little chest just so I can put a bunch of these materials in there. And there we go. Monsters nearby. What? I see no monsters. What you want to bet they're underneath in that area that I just covered up? I'll bet you just about anything. Isn't that just typical? Let's try over here. There. Oh, someone else slept. Who slept? Joe Hills. Joe Hills. Thank you, Joe Hills. I'm on right now with Exuma, False, and Joe Hills, in case you were curious. But I want to start out by kind of laying out a few things. And I'm thinking we're going to use kind of oak wood here. And actually, I'll probably need a bit more grass just so I can kind of level some of this terrain out a little bit. This looks a little derp. Oh, let's get those out of my offhand. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then we'll just go ahead and fill that in. And that should be enough for a little bit of like a house type thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we don't really need to worry too much about some of this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking we'll just kind of lay out something like that. That should do. And this would be kind of the area of our house. Now, we want to tear a lot of this up. And I think I'm going to put coarse dirt in there. You know, just because obviously if this were at one point a house, there would be, you know, it probably wouldn't be a whole lot of grass inside. So we don't want the grass. We want the grass to be kind of invisible, or at least very sporadic. We don't want a lot of grass inside the area of the house. That just would be a little weird. So let's just get some coarse dirt. Little patches of it are fine. But I don't want a lot, and I think that's good. Okay, now, the house would probably have foundations of some sort, so we're going to get a little bit of cobblestone around. Ooh, I just realized that this is not in the right spot. Let's fix that. That would go here, which means these would be outside, which means, there we go. We'll do something like that. That should be fine. Okay, and then, as I said, we would have cobblestone foundations probably in what was once this house. I think that would kind of make sense if we think about it a little bit. So we're gonna put some cobblestone just kind of around the edges here, maybe here too, you know, just to kind of represent that foundation. And then some of these little things would be built up. We're going to have varying heights. Maybe like that. That should be good, I think. Yeah. And then in here, I think we're actually also going to mix some granite into the floor as well. just a little bit, just because it actually goes relatively well with the dirt, I think. Maybe we'll put a little bit here and one there, just so we get some of that kind of mixed in. There we go. That looks good. Okay, now we need to figure out kind of how this house would have been. So let's kind of do some things here. Let's make a few stairs. Let's make a couple of slabs, and then let's use some of these spruce planks as well. And I'm thinking the house would have been kind of like here-ish. And we're just going to kind of do our best to kind of create some shapes, so you can tell there was a wall here at one point, and now it's gone. It's ruined. It's, you know what I mean? It's beaten up and basically mangled and destroyed. So maybe something like that could be kind of cool. And then maybe here we do a stair like that, and then a slab. And maybe another slab, or maybe a full block right there. That should be good. Kind of like this. And you can just kind of see where things once were, which I think is pretty cool. And then we'll add like some slabs and stuff kind of around the edges, you know, showing that those walls kind of, they were there, but then they kind of fell out, and now it's all kind of been mangled and destroyed. Because we're trying to create the impression that there was at one point a wall here, but it's not there anymore. It's gone. Maybe we do something kind of like this. Maybe, no, we don't want that lighting glitch. We'll maybe put a stair. No, not like that. There's a lot of trial and error when it comes to this sort of thing, you know, sort of messing up a build like this. So a lot of it's just kind of placing blocks and then figuring out, do I like that? Do I not like that? You know, stuff like that. So, you know, it's kind of it's an interesting process. Let's do that. Maybe here we do a couple of slabs. We'll maybe put another stair there. And then over here, we'll put a stair like that. And maybe a slab there? No, maybe a stair there. Yeah, that's not bad. How's that? That feels all right. That's not bad. Maybe another slab. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I think I want this to go up a little higher, like that. And we'll put a stair. Instead of this slab, we'll put a stair right there. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good. That's good. I like it. Okay, so we've got something like this. This was the doorway, we'll say. This at one point long ago. And we just got to get this wall kind of sorted out as well. And we can do some stuff down here, too. Like, you know what I mean? Just kind of get some of those ruined little bits in place. I'll do that. Maybe here we put a full block. And here we put a slab as well. You know, just these are the ruins of the wall that were there once, and now they're not. Everything has been destroyed and mangled, and you know it's not good anymore. So you can see kind of here where the stuff just fell. It just fell out, and it was there, and now it's gone. I think I'll turn that a little bit, and then we'll put a slab right here. Yeah, that's not bad. So we've got kind of this little area like so. And I think I want a couple more spruce slabs because we need a little bit in here too. It's okay that we're covering up some of the stuff, some of the granite and things like that. That's perfectly fine. So, okay, that's good. Now, I think this is a full block, and we do want to kind of do the same thing on the inside as well. So anywhere here that we've got a full block facing outwards, we can kind of swap those out for a stair, just to kind of add a little bit of depth when you're looking at it from the inside as well. And I think that's probably good. Okay. Now, the foundations would also probably have crumbled a bit. So we can kind of come in here, and maybe we grab some more cobble. We can put that in place. And maybe down here we've got... do I not have any cobblestone stairs? Apparently not. That's okay. Let's just make a handful of them. Maybe we'd have, you know, something kind of like this as well. You can see where the foundations have kind of come out a little bit. Maybe here as well we put a stair. Anywhere else that'd be kind of peeking out? Right here probably would be. Maybe a stair there and a slab. You know, we do something like this. You can see kind of where the house is falling apart, which I think is pretty cool. And then I also think that the floors in here, there'd probably be a little bit of the floor left. So maybe we put a spruce. Well, no, I don't think we want spruce for the floor. I think we would want something else. Maybe oak. I'm thinking oak. So let's just make some oak slabs. And I am very hungry right now. I should probably eat some food. There we go. All right, so maybe we put an oak slab here. Maybe here we put an oak slab, but we put it down a little bit. And then maybe up. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Kind of creates the impression that the floor sort of sunk in. That's kind of cool. Maybe like that. Oak slab here. Maybe here? Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then you can tell the floor was oak at one point. We'll put an oak slab there. And maybe one here as well. Just, you can kind of see, the trick to a build like this is making sure that you can tell what, you can kind of tell what the house was like, and then you can also tell that it's clearly, you know, broken. It's bad. It's destroyed, it's mangled, all that kind of good stuff. And this is really kind of a fun building style as well, to kind of build things that are really kind of worn down and beaten up and all that kind of good stuff. So, let's take a little bit of a sleep. It takes so long to sleep. There we go. And then we need to figure out kind of something with the roof, because I think there should be sort of the remnants of a roof. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do that. So let's take a little bit of dark oak. And let's make some dark oak stairs and some dark oak slabs. And I think maybe up here we'll do something like this, where you can see there was kind of a roof here at one point, and now it's pretty much gone with the rest of the house. I think that's probably going to be our best bet. So like here, for example, we might do something like this. Maybe we bring that down just to kind of... Oh, hi, zombie. Where'd you come from? Sneaky. Did he come from under here? He must have. Huh. Anyway, that was unexpected. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Maybe... I don't think I like that. Maybe we do that instead. And then here it kind of comes over. Here it kind of comes over. And then maybe here it kind of comes over. You know, because this was... Ooh, actually the roof The roof level was up a little bit more, wasn't it? Okay. So bearing that in mind, let's grab some of this and just see if we do a log there and then a log here. That should be better. Okay, there we go. So we'll do something like that. Come on. We'll bring that one down a little bit. We're trying to create this sort of broken looking roof. And we'll maybe do something like that. I think that sticks out a little too far, though. So maybe we'll bring it out here instead. And then here, let's get up here and go spruce. Here we'll kind of bring it over. And then maybe we just stick that out one like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then here we can kind of build up a roof shape a little bit, which will then proceed to totally mess up. But we'll get a little bit of like a roof shape going like that. And then maybe we'll kind of bring it over here. And we can kind of get in here with some other blocks, just to kind of break up that shape a bit. Because we want you to be able to tell that this was the roof, but at the same time, we don't want it to look pristine, because that's kind of the whole purpose of this build, is to make it look, mangled. That's really the whole reason we're doing this. So let's put maybe something like that. You can kind of see part of the roof there, and that looks pretty good, except this whole thing would fall because it's only supported right here. So we'll grab some more spruce, and what we'll do is kind of back here maybe, we'll build up a little bit more of the wall. Maybe here, or maybe not there, maybe here. And there. Yeah, that looks better. That looks considerably better. And then we just need to kind of build that up a little bit as well. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking that that's all pretty much in good shape. Now, I would love to light some fires in here with netherrack, but we don't have fire tick. We don't have fire spread off, so the whole thing would burn down because it's basically all made of wood. So that's not really an option, unfortunately. Maybe, though, we could kind of add some more kind of rubble, if you will, kind of around the base of the house. Just kind of spread around like this. Maybe we do one here. Maybe here we do a little bit more. I think you guys kind of get the idea of what we're trying to do here. Go like that. Oh, that's andesite. I don't want andesite. I want cobblestone. There we go. So you've got this kind of ruined house, which I think is really cool. I like it. Now, I need a shears. And we're just going to get some of this grass here. And I'm not sure, can I plant this on coarse dirt? Oh, I totally can. So we'll just plant some of that inside the house. And then we'll grab a little bone meal. And we'll maybe bone meal a couple of these. There we go. Put one here as well. So you can see that this is all kind of overgrown and, kind of in rough shape. And then we'll do the same kind of around the outside of the house as well. Just bone meal this whole little area. And I want to make some of this grass too tall. I think I also want to get rid of the flowers. They don't really fit the theme of this build. but we'll get some. I mean, maybe a couple would be okay, just in a couple random spots, but I think for the most part, I want the too tall. I want to stick with just the grass. Let's bone meal here as well. I don't want it too tall there. And then we'll kind of, and that's not really a good place for one either. We'll do it there instead. There we go. That looks pretty good, I think. Come on, flower. There we go. I hate the hitboxes on flowers. I really do. They're so incredibly annoying from time to time. Okay, so there we go. We've got that, and I want to kind of break up this grass a bit. We might as well bring this over just so this whole thing kind of matches at least a little bit. We'll probably have to come back through here with some leaves and bushes and things like that as well. In fact, I might actually have some leaves and bushes over in this chest. Possibly, maybe? Maybe not. Just kidding, I don't. Too bad. Those would fit quite well here, I think, with this build too. Maybe what we'll do, let's put all this stuff away. I'll put this stuff in here. We'll take this stuff and doot. There we go. Grab the ender pearls because I'm going to need them. I'll take my ender chest and this, and let's see if we can find ourselves some trees to chop down and get some leaves from. That would be very good. I mean, obviously there's a whole forest, like, right over here, so it shouldn't be that difficult to do. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that was so not the right bow. Good job, me. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to get some leaves together and things like that, and I'll come back in a minute. All right, guys, I am back. So I've got some leaves here and things like that. We can probably work some of this stuff in. That's not a good spot. We need to make sure we're not doing this on top of just slabs, though, because then it's going to look a little weird. But we'll work some bushes in a couple of spots. Maybe like this. There we go. And then we can kind of give the impression that the whole thing is sort of overgrown as well. And we can kind of mix up some of these different types of leaves. I think that'll look really good. Let's see. We can put one here and here. Maybe a birch there and here. You know, we're basically just kind of making it look overgrown is the goal. And I think we can accomplish that relatively well. Come on. Go. Right there. Okay. I don't like that. There we go. That's not bad. That really kind of gives this overgrown and beaten up impression, which I like a lot. Okay. That's good, and then we'll just kind of bring this over here and down, I think. And maybe to right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, cool. Now, kind of along the path over here, we can kind of extend some of this a little bit. We've done some of these kind of bushes and things like that, so we'll work on that a little bit too. Let me just kind of get this pathway sorted out up to about here or so, and I'll come back to you in a sec. All right, guys, I am back. So the path is finished, and I think the house is finished as well. Well, I mean, the path is finished up to about here anyway. We've got it all kind of laid out. We'll probably have to do some trees and things like that kind of over here in the background once you get a little bit farther away from the path. Just because right now it's, you know, pretty boring, but we can handle that as time goes on here. So I think we are in good shape. And guys, I am out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.